George Higgins, Nicholas Kingston, and Will Howarth is showing as being on the grid without a time. And I can see that Will is down there on that black and yellow Yamaha.
Not sure he hasn't got a time. I didn't catch all of the last race, unfortunately. So did he DNF in the previous race, mate?
I'm just having a look here and I can't see his name on the list, okay. I must admit.
Let's not worry about that. We know what happened to Henry Ross, unfortunately, taking a tumble in the Open 500 race there. We heard that, of course, from one of his rivals as we go zooming into the first corner. So I have to say, you've got to think this is going to be an AJ benefit race. You would hope so anyway, but obviously there's others on the grid who'd like to maybe make sure that AJ doesn't get too big-headed about his speed. So we'll wait and see, but certainly so far this weekend, Henry's been the only one to really take the fight to AJ, hasn't he, mate?
Certainly is. Sam Hurst is right there in third position. I think that's Michael Mills just behind him in fourth place. Gareth Cunningham, Joey Lambden, Kai Dickinson up next, and that is the top 7. Will Howard has punched his way through 5 riders already from the back of the grid. So number 96, Will Howard, he'll be in the Clubman 600. We'll keep a close eye on him as someone goes wide at Surtees and just rejoins the circuit now. So that would be advantageous to Will Howard in his pursuit of finding his way further up the field. But it's AJ who leads the way ahead of Matt Pallett in second position. But Sam Hurst quickly changes that and puts himself into that second place position ahead of the number 12 Triumph of Matt Pallett. So it's 76 AJ on the Triumph, 91 on the Kawasaki. Sam Hurst, number 12 Triumph, that is Matt Pallett, and that is your top 3. Next up, that seems to be that Gareth Cunningham up next. It certainly seems that way. Gareth Cunningham found a way through on Michael Mills in the early stages of this second lap. So Michael Mills drops to 5th place ahead of Joey Lambden. A little bit of fresh air between Joey Lambden now, but Kai Dickinson only a 10th of a second ahead of the number 50 bike of Addy Behal. Then it's Reese Forrest and Brian Mayer who moves up 2 positions and leads the way in the Clubmans ahead of James Lord by less than a 10th of a second. But back across the line already, AJ, Sam Hurst, coming from a long way back. Not quite close enough, but he has certainly had a look at AJ there, did Sam Hurst, and he's got the run through the dip. Sam Hurst looking for an inside pass on AJ, but AJ a little bit later on the brakes and a little bit harder on the brakes. Holds on to the race lead, and as they plunge down from Druids into Graham Hill Bend, it is still Matt Pallett in third place ahead of Gareth Cunningham and Michael Mills, Joey Lambden. So it's still as you were inside the top 6. Joey Lambden runs up onto the rumble strip ever so slightly on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. That is where Will Howarth is now. He's just in front of Tyler Donovan, is Will Howarth. So looks like he's made up 6 positions on that previous lap, which is good stuff for the man on bike number 96. AJ leads from Sam Hurst. Now watch Sam Hurst as he comes across the line, and again he seems to make up so much ground on the brakes in towards Paddock Hill Bend, and then uses the power of that ZX6R Kawasaki through the dip to fire himself up towards Druid. But he's a little bit further back than what he was 1 lap ago. Not close enough to make a challenge, but he's certainly keeping AJ honest with a 49 flat being the fastest lap of the race from your race leader, number 76 AJ on the all-white Triumph.
Well, Sam Hurst so far this weekend has had a third and a fourth. He'd dearly love to make that a first. Obviously these guys only have the 3 races over the weekend. So far this weekend AJ has finished first and second, and he'd dearly love to take another first as well, add to his already remarkable collection of race wins and titles over the year. Of Sam Hurst, the youngster on the Team Valley 91 machine, is coming fast. He's pushing on very hard indeed. I know he has got massive support in the paddock there from his team and friends and family. Behind them, Pallett and Cunningham also having a good battle. They're about a second or so back, but they're only separated by a quarter of a second, which is a similar gap between Mills and Lambden as well. Down through the field, got to go down to about 11th place, where we see Tyler Donovan and Jack Kennelly having a good little scrap between those two.
That's Craig Kennelly.
Craig Kennelly, thanks mate, thanks for the correction. Pardon me. Jake Dongersley is chasing hard after Brian Mayer as well. Also Coombs and May having a very close battle, albeit just outside of the overall points, but that's a clubman battle for some solid clubman points as well. Out in front, AJ just going quicker though, goes to 29.1 for a purple at sector 1. Here he comes. What does he do on the overall lap? He does a 48.842, whilst behind him the youngster does a 49.041.
Addy Behal, yeah, purple Addy in sector number 2.
Wow, who would have put money on that one? Well done, Addy. And he goes 0.2 quicker than AJ. So, Addy, you've got the speed there somewhere, mate. You just got to put it all together on the same lap at the same time and then keep it going for for a dozen or so laps.
In fact,
you'll be there.
he came across the line 0.6 of a second behind Joey Lambden, but he's right there. So that four-way fight is now a five-way fight that is currently being led by Matt Pallett for third position. So look at that, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh. It's a 10-wheeled freight train as they go in towards Clearways. A change of position there as Michael Mills goes up the inside of Gareth Cunningham. Yamaha R6 versus Yamaha R6, and it's the 56 ahead of the 169 as they come out of Clark Curve, and Gareth Cunningham has that inside line and he makes the pass stick as he goes into Paddock Hill Bend. Addy Behal looking for an inside move on Joey Lambden, but had to pull out of it at the very last second.
That's impressive stuff from Addy there. We don't see him at every single round. When he comes out, he's usually there or thereabouts, and certainly this is one of the most impressive performances from him. Mills goes past on Cunningham on that lap. Another fastest lap for AJ, 48.7.
Oh, Gareth Cunningham, I think, made a mistake there into Graham Hill Bend because he's dropped to the back of that group. He was behind Michael Mills, but in fifth position, but now he's behind Addy Behal in seventh. So he's dropped a couple of places there as Gareth Cunningham, but Addy Behal is fighting his way through, and I think what AJ was doing over the previous couple of laps here was thinking, right, come on Sam, you think you got it, follow me.
Yeah, and, absolutely, he's breaking him, isn't he?
He is. The gap was 0.7, it's now just over 1 second, it's 1.088, as again Addy looks for an inside pass on Joey Lambden, but there's just not quite enough room to him to squeeze that Kawasaki up the inside of Joey Lambden. Gareth Cunningham coming back into this one there. One lap ago he went a little bit wide at Graham Hill Bend, but this time around he has regrouped and he's chasing hard after Addy Behal, trying to take a wider line there, catch a later apex, and can he get the drive? No, Addy Behal keeps him at bay. Kai Dickinson is in a relatively lonely position in 8th place as well. He's 2.1 seconds away from the fight in front, but he has just clawed back 0.3 of a second, Keith. Across the line come some tail enders, and they will come into play here for AJ, but I think he's got enough time in hand now to not be troubled too much. 1.4 seconds, but look at this fight for the final podium position, and it's that to Matt Pallett up the inside of Michael Mills. It is. So Michael Mills, who came across the line in third place, is he did momentarily drop down to fourth, but he's reclaimed that third place as he finds the better of Matt Pallett. Joey Lambden, Addy Behal, Gareth Cunningham is the order in that particular fight. Sam Hurst just finding his way through the tail enders. Joey Lambden. Yeah, Joey Lambden up the inside of Matt Pallett. That is for fourth place.
That's impressive stuff. These five guys having a really good scrap between them. I bet Sam Hurst's team is very glad he's not involved in that battle. These guys really are not giving very much away at all. Sam, of course, his only concentration is to try and stay with AJ, who is escaping bit by bit. I think Sam might have got held up a little bit behind the back marker there. The gap between the top two now, 1.9 seconds with just a lap remaining. However, Mills, Lambden, Pallett, Behal and Cunningham is your order at the moment, with Dickinson just, as you mentioned before, hanging on to the coattails of them. Is that Lambden looking for a move up there?
I think it is, yeah, trying to find his way through on Michael Mills, isn't he? But not quite to his avail, as there will be a tail ender coming into play.
Tail ender, that
Michael,
could be critical.
All Mills up the inside, as is Joey Lambden. I think Matt Pallett may lose out here. It could work in favour of Addy Behal. Matt Pallett up the inside, and in fact, no, the advantage goes to Gareth Cunningham, who's now through on Addy Behal, who gets caught out by the tail ender as well. So Addy really losing out on that one. It didn't work for him, unfortunately, as AJ comes around Clark Curve and will take the checkered flag for the second time in the weekend for the Helmet City MRO Supersport 600s. Rounding out the podium, it's just going to be Michael Mills by 0.06 of a second over Joey Lambden, who claims fourth. Matt Pallett, Gareth Cunningham, Addy Behal and Kai Dickinson in 8th. Ahead of the first of the Clubmans, that's Will Howarth, who came from the back of the grid to 9th position overall, and he claims the Clubman win, and ahead of Reese Forrest, who rounds out the overall top 10. Craig Kennelly up next, ahead of Brian Mayer and James May, who round out the Clubman podium. 115 Brian Mayer and the 71 bike of James May.
I've got to say that gives AJ a 25-point lead in the championship. I know it's early in the year, but I don't know what his plans are for the year. I don't know if he's just going to do a one-off round here, if he's planning to do the whole season, but certainly very hard to turn down a 25-point lead early in the season, isn't it, Bradley?
Absolutely. It's another good ride. It's a good ride there, actually. I was just going to say for the number 71 of James May, because over the course of the races so far, James, he started things off with an 11th, and then he moved up to 6th. And then in the race earlier on today, it was another 6th place, but he's going home with a medal, Keith. He's got 3rd position in this one and was only 0.3 of a second behind Brian Mayer.